What is up, Promptaholics? This is a super quick tutorial how to create yourself a custom tutor or assistant for a more advanced class or any college class for that matter. Let's say you just started, for my case, I just started programming 1 and it's pretty complex. So there's a lot of information in the introduction right here. I already went through all these, but basically I would go through every single one of these intro, like the syllabus, class policies, all that stuff, download any external files, any resources that they provided for me, copy any of the text of them explaining like welcome to the course, that kind of stuff, start pasting all that stuff into a Word document. So you collect all of the different intros right here, save that to a folder titled for anywhere on your desktop or something like that, title it whatever the class is called, start collecting all the resources into this one folder. And then what you do is we're going to jump into Claude, and I've already created this, but essentially you would click new project up here in the top right, and it would open up, pretty much it would look like this, but it would all be blank. You're going to add the instructions. So the quickest way I found to add the instructions is through Comet, the new browser that's powered by Perplexity. So I sign into my school profile. I have Perplexity start gathering all the resources from all the different introduction lessons. Describe project goals and subject to my custom Claude project that includes any and all context you think I should possibly start with. Boom. So it busts out. Basically, this is like the system prompt for the tutor. It has like all the context of the class that you're taking. So right after you click new project, it's going to prompt you to title the project. So title it like the class. I did PG1 tutor. And so this is the system prompt that that Comet gave me for the instructions. So you can tailor how Claude actually responds to you and how the tutor speaks, how it articulates ideas, that side of things. So I actually just followed up with that question right here within the same Comet page. How about instructions to tailor how Claude responds? Your PG1 tutor responds as your PG1 tutor. You should provide guidelines for its communication, focus, and personality, yada, yada. So then it gives it communication style, subject, focus, tone, and persona, yada, yada. So I copy all this, I paste this into the instructions down here. Then I take all of the files and resources that they provided to me throughout the introduction lessons, add the files here. So in the files line, you're going to see a little plus icon to the right, click add files. You're going to select upload from device. You're going to add all those files in that you've downloaded. And then if you've already had your first lecture for the class, but you didn't make it because you're online like me, you don't have time to just hop on when everyone else is, you actually would go and download either the transcript, or if they don't have a transcript for the lecture, you can download the video or the audio and then use an app like, I like to use MacWhisper, to transcribe long audios. So I'll show you real quick. So right here, I've added the latest lecture to MacWhisper, and right now it's working through a 3-hour lecture to transcribe everything the professor said. I'm going to copy all this, paste all of this into a Word document, title it Lecture 1, Lecture 2, Lecture 3, whatever lecture it is. Add that to the resources as well. So I add that to my files, add that to my class file. So right here, you'll notice Lecture 1, Lecture 2, I got the intro, quick reference, complete schedule, and then any of the syllabus or other resources they provided. And then boom, you got it. So you can literally ask it anything. Like, for example, today I had to go through, I asked it to class dates, any due dates in its files. It's literally able to just bust me out an entire, look at this, high priority, medium priority, low priority, approach for my calendar success. After each lecture, I didn't even notice that they had a 12 to 4 p.m. lab time. Like, that's something that I kind of skimmed over while I was doing the longer form reading in the introduction lessons. And here's another good example. Now that you have all of the important dates for this month, what else should I add to my calendar besides the actual Zoom lectures on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday? What to add to my physical calendar besides lectures? Boom, it gave me some dates to look at and add to the calendar. Another good example is I asked it, so here's some more resources that I downloaded that were a little hard. So if it's like an Excel spreadsheet or something where it's like an image or a PDF or a graphics, like I added 3 attachments, turn this into text so I can add it to your context for the project more easily. So instead of it just turning into text, it actually went ahead, looked at the files, parsed them together, and created 2 different files for me. So you'll see here, these are 2 different markdowns that I can actually just click this little arrow and click add to project, and it'll literally, instead of downloading it and re-uploading it to the project, it'll just add it to right here, the file database for this custom project. So for example, like the other one, right, PG1 quick reference. So it looks like it created quick reference schedule for my October, my weekly routine, the office hours for the professor, so I can just ask it any time. I don't need to remember. It's got week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, the stuff that's due each of the weeks. When I need help, who I can contact, that type of stuff. So I would just click that little arrow, add that to the project, and then boom, it's just getting better and better. Beautiful. So that just finished up. We're going to go ahead and copy all this. Boom. We're going to jump into a Word document. Create a new Word document. We're going to paste in the lecture 3 as lecture 3 in PG1. Save. Boom. So we can close out the MacWhisper now. I'm going to click this little plus button like I mentioned. Upload from device. We're going to add from our PG1, we're going to add lecture 3 in there. Lecture 1, lecture 2, lecture 3. So I'm going to go up here and, for example, I would prompt it something like, I have just uploaded lecture 3 to your files. Based off of everything we learned in lecture 1 and lecture 2, maybe give me a short recap, but I need a good solid summary of everything that was covered today in lecture 3. Action items, due dates, any hotkeys that were mentioned, any tips and tricks that the professor might have mentioned that are crucial to note down while I watch the lecture this evening. And so now that it has lecture 3, it's going to go ahead and search through. It's going to read that file specifically. So it's listing the directories. Let me check the uploaded directly to see lecture 3 file. Looking for lecture 3 file in the uploads. Upload directory is empty. Great, I found the project knowledge. Search project for lecture 3. I'm not finding lecture 3 content specifically. Unearthed lecture 3 file prepared. So now while I'm watching tonight's lecture, I'm going to be taking notes and kind of relying on my custom tutor to ask questions about like what they mean, what some of these keywords, control flow, syntax, like I'm going to be asking my personal tutor questions about what the professor's talking about while he's talking. So I am like a personal sidekick to answer hyper customized questions about the course that I'm taking. More specifically, tonight's lecture. That's all. Last thing I'm going to mention is don't forget to check out my newsletter where I post 3 of the top prompts that people are talking about on Reddit each week. It goes ahead and takes the top 90 posts from my top 3 favorite prompt engineering subreddits, parses through, finds patterns, determines what is the most important and game-changing prompts of the week, top headlines from the AI industry each week, about 5 of them. So go ahead and head over to promptaholic.com. It'll take you to my link tree for now while I'm still setting up the full website. That's Promptaholic, AHOLIC.com. There's a couple social medias you can check on some of my other posts. If you click on the insider, it should take you to Promptaholic Beehive. This is my newsletter. I'll show you. Let me read it first. So last week we had a co-thinker, a grandmaster, decisions, and adaptive workouts. So it includes the top 5 headlines of the week, my take on them, and then 3 prompts you can use today. So these are copy and paste prompts, and each one is followed by a real world use case. So it kind of gives you an idea of how you can actually use them in your personal, professional, entrepreneurial, creative life that you're living. So those 3 are on there. It'll really change your perspective on what it's like to engineer higher level, more sophisticated prompts and the kind of outputs you can get from them. Like I said, there's a real world use case, the industry pulse, so a little summary of what's going on in the industry, the different prompts, and then how I'm using these prompts. So feel free to subscribe to that. And good value in there. I honestly built this for myself, so if you don't use it, I will. I don't really care. And then last but not least, I have just launched the ability to book with me on Calendly. So I'm doing free AI discovery calls, a session with me where I'll kind of determine where you can speed up your workflows, how you can get more efficient, where you're underutilizing AI in your daily professional or personal life, whether you're an entrepreneur, a creative, anyone that's like in the management or anyone that owns a business. I even do team trainings. It's a 20-minute AI discovery call. It's free. And it's for me to determine if we're a good fit, how I could help you with one-on-one coaching, maybe even team training. Or if you're a business owner, I also do AI receptionists and customer service representatives for your business. All those are tailored to you specifically. I hyper customize all of my service to each and every single person. I meet you where you are in the AI industry and I take you to the next level. So if that's something that piques your interest, feel free to book a 20-minute meeting with me, and I would love to diagnose where we can take you to the next level. So with that, I appreciate your time, and I will see you guys in the next video.